Cold and flu season. Try Vicks Sinex nasal spray. Clears your nose. Lasts up for 12 hours when congestion strikes. Be ready. So tonight's actually interesting. LeBron James will likely pass Michael Jordan tonight on the all-time scoring list if he gets over 12 points. So there's that. And I could spend time talking about MJ and LeBron. I've called LeBron the greatest Swiss Army knife I've ever seen. LeBron does more things well than any player I've ever watched. I would never deny that. Michael is the greatest single scorer and defender, two-way player I've ever seen in his prime. They're really different players. Michael's a scorer first. LeBron's more of a distributor/scorer. He's a little bit more like Magic. But be that as it may, I spend a lot of time on this show telling you how great LeBron is and how he matches up with Michael Jordan. He's a bigger, stronger, better shooting, better range, better passing, better rebounding version of Michael. But let me for a second talk about why I don't buy stats. And LeBron will blow Michael away with stats. I don't buy stats. Karl Malone's the second leading scorer in NBA history. I watched him shrink a dozen times, half of them live in the playoffs. Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple-Double. Yeah, but, he can't shoot, and he's a guard. Stats are not touch. Stats are not a witness. Stats are not eyes. Stats are not being there. I saw Michael Jordan play at 40 years old. We'll roll a tape. I'm in the crowd. If you slow it, you could probably see me. Michael was 40. It was at Portland. I was a sportscaster. He played 41 minutes. He was 11 of 19. He scored 25 points and had 7 assists. I was under the basket, upper right. He was easily the best player on the floor at 40. LeBron is 34 years old. He will never be as good as Michael Jordan was at 40. Michael Jordan, folks, it doesn't make sense. He retired twice. He got the hell beat out of him in a physical Eastern Conference. He was a cigar-smoking, steak-eating, wine-drinking, card-playing maniac who didn't sleep. He left a sport and played another and came back and was still a mile better than Magic. I was at his last game at 40 years old. The Portland team, I think, won almost 50 games. The Washington team had some good players. Michael was 40. It was the last game he ever played in Portland, the home of Nike. And he was easily the best player on the floor. Easily. LeBron James at 40 will not be in an NBA game 6 years from now, and we're all going, wow, LeBron against Milwaukee. He's easily the best player on the floor. I spend a lot of time telling you how great LeBron is. But the most remarkable night, I've lived in 8 states, I've been to 49, I apologize to South Carolina. I've been to every big sporting event except the Kentucky Derby. One of the most unbelievable experiences of my life, and I was sitting next to my friend Brian Lightgibb at the Rose Garden, was this night. 40 years old, after getting the hell beat out of him in the Eastern Conference when you had hand checks and forearm shivers. 3 years of college, retired twice, went and played baseball, cigars, steaks, gambling, 40 years old. Easily best player on the floor. On a good Portland team, on a night when players were playing against their idol. I mean, it was like you got up to fight Muhammad Ali. You got up to play Michael Jordan. You wanted to stop Michael Jordan. 11 of 19, they couldn't. 7 assists, 41 minutes. More minutes than any other player. I don't buy stats. LeBron will be a tidal wave of stats over Michael Jordan. But I'll tell you one thing LeBron will never be. As good as Jordan at 40. No way. No how. Hey, MJ couldn't hit the curve in baseball, but he hit 40 and was still unbelievable. Joy with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
So the Celtics have been in a slump lately, losing 7 of 10 games going into last night's matchup with the Warriors. And a lot of players are talking about toxic environments and being frustrated with the team's performance. But the Celtics pulled off a 128-95 win over the Warriors last night. And Kyrie Irving had this to say about how the team got back on track.
That long plane ride helped us out. I'll just say that. That long plane ride helped us out. We needed it. It was just, we were going to get to a point where we were just going to get tired of, fighting each other, fighting, the outside world, and it doesn't really matter. So we just want to come out here and just play basketball. This is our sanctuary, and we have to do everything to protect it. We can't let anybody infiltrate this.
How about that? Getting along now?
Well, look, sometimes it just takes a conversation of airing it out to get back on the same page.
Of course.
There's a lot of talent on that team. They have a lot at stake here, and they have championship expectations. So at one point or another, they needed to get in a room or a long plane ride and have those conversations.
Yes. Seriously. One of the things, it's funny, when I used to work out east and I would fly to the west, I'd get on these 5.5-hour flights. And it's how I wrote both my books. Because I was so focused in the moment, 5.5 hours on a plane, it's like, I'm going to get a bunch of homework done. I would never be more focused, I'm kind of an ADD guy, than being on that plane. When you're trapped in a small tube for 5.5, 6 hours, you decompress a little, you take a deep breath. It's kind of the perfect time to get stuff done. And Kyrie and the Celtics, they got some relationship stuff done on that 6-hour flight.
Yeah, there's no escape.
No distractions.
No distractions, and you're stuck there with each other. It's the perfect time to talk. I think a lot of these situations, if there were actual conversations had, not necessarily in an airplane, but just sit down and hash out the issues, you can save a lot of these relationships before they turn sour. But we'll see how it goes. It's a big win for them. So I
don't think it means much for the Warriors, but I thought for Boston it meant something.
I don't know. Steve Kerr wasn't very happy. So the Cardinals have the first pick in the draft, and rumors have been swirling about Kyler Murray being their top choice. Kyler and Nick Bosa from Ohio State are currently tied as a favorite to be drafted first overall, but Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury insists the team has not made a decision yet.
50 days out, so I don't think any of us have a clue at this point. But it's fun to hear all the how I've said I do and that it's a done deal and all those things. So you just roll with it and enjoy this process. Just rolling around Indy saying it's a done deal. So I would have to adamantly deny that.
I'm sure it's not a done deal just yet, but draft day is going to be very interesting.
You know what I did last night when I got home?
Mock drafts.
A couple of them. Sat down with a couple of NFL mock drafts, opened myself a Corona Light, and enjoyed it. So it broke down a lot of left tackles and pass rushers from schools. It's a great time last night. Sat there with my dog, Corona Light, looking at mock drafts.
I've never met anyone who loves the draft more than you.
I love it. Seriously. I've never done a mock draft. I may do one this year. I may do 7 rounds of mock draft. Just fill out. I'll just go the whole damn thing.
It's actually good research for our show.
Oh, it's great research. Me and Pete Schrager will do it all day. Why not?
Finally, the pursuit of Antonio Brown could finally be coming to an end. According to Ian Rappaport, the Steelers are moving quickly to find a trade for Brown. 3 new unnamed teams have entered the running. The Jets and the Cardinals are out.
Okay.
And the deal is expected to be in place Friday.
All right.
Here are the current odds where Antonio Brown will play next season.
Listen.
Oakland is the favorite, which I actually do like.
Okay.
And I think that he would be the perfect player to transition them to Vegas. So they do need some stars on their team once they make that move, which won't be for another year or so. Tennessee, Arizona, although Ian Rappaport's reporting that the Cardinals and the Jets are out of that. Green Bay, San Francisco, Cleveland, Indianapolis, and of course Pittsburgh is still on there, but they are going to trade him. So
yeah, whose list is that?
I don't know where this list is from, but these are the odds. These are the odds.
I don't love that. I think that list is off. I'll tell you why in a bit, but I don't buy that list.
I don't know. I like him landing in Oakland. I think that'd be a good spot for him. John Gruden has shown that he's able to manage big personalities in the past. He's a big personality himself.
Yeah.
And they need a receiver after trading Amari Cooper. So it's interesting.
Interesting. Joy Taylor with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
He is the instigator at FS1, has his own crazy theories. He's a Hall of Fame baseball voter, and he's my friend Rob Parker joining us in the Herd.
Good morning.
It is a pleasure. It was such a bad time for you when Tom Brady won the Super Bowl, but I do feel like you've been reborn now, that LeBron's season's been an utter mess. After the season ended last year, I went out and I said, I played this for a couple days. I said, why didn't he take a year off? You don't get remarried again and move to Los Angeles. Sample. Go to the beach. Do movies. Do your pizza chain. Clearly, he's had no focus this year. Do you think it's a crazy idea? I think it recharged Michael. Andrew Luck, by the way, now it was an injury. I thought Robbie was a better quarterback. He was more efficient. He didn't make the dumb throws. There is something to be said. You and I can't take the year off because we got bills to pay.
Exactly.
But for a CEO, sells a company,